Hi, Ray Poynter here, and I want to show you how we can use Word Cloud Plus to really speed up your coding of open-ended text. So I've just hit the Create button in Word Cloud Plus. I'm going to give it a name. What makes a great presenter? Verbatims from a NUMR study looking into what makes a good presentation. And into here we paste the open-ended comments which I've collected. So after we've hit create, it comes up with a first choice of what what the word cloud should look like. And since we had what makes a good presentation, it's not surprising this word crops up again. So actually we are going to make that a stop word because it's one of the words we asked in the question. So we don't particularly want to see it in the word cloud. And now we're going to start looking for some themes and we're going to apply some codes. So one of the big things that jumps off the page is slides. So if we click on slides and we look at references, we see shouldn't be cluttered, slides are pithy, slides not too cluttered, don't just read the slides, simple slides, number of slides. So all of that is a category. So we're going to have a coding and we're going to create a code simply called slides. And the label can be just the same, slides. How many visual, uncluttered, etc. And that highlights slides there. So what we're going to do now is have a look at some other things that relate to it. So here's another one, simple slides. And we're going to say simple slides relates to slides as well. Let's have a look for a slide here. That obviously relates to slides. Visual slides relates to slides. Not reading from the slides relates to slides. So we've got a set of things there. So the next thing we're going to look at as a big one is content. And if we look at content, we look at the references, presentation, content, lots of content, strong content. So it's about the subject matter and the material and things like that. So we'll code this and we'll code it as content. What people are talking about and the findings. So we've got subject matter here. So we're going to say that is around content. We'll come back to see if we got any more things as we move through. Now one of the strong ones that we see now is voice. We're going to create a code and this is voice. How the presenter uses their voice. And well, we've got voice modulation. So you can see the voice was already coded, but I've coded the phrase now as well. Tone of voice. So what is the next one? Okay, we've got engage. Sorry, we've got audience. Let's look at the references. Ability to engage the audience, audience interaction, interaction with the audience, engaging the audience. So we're going to put coding in. We're going to create a code for audience. And this time the label is going to be slightly different. It's audience and engagement. Ability to engage and interact with the audience. So what else have we got that links that? We've got to engage the audience here. So engage wants to be part of this audience and engagement. Engage the audience wants to be part of audience and engagement. Now, because I'm doing this from a word cloud, I'm starting with the phrases that occur the most often and that are the most significant. So I'm not reading from the top of the verbatims and working my way through. I'm starting with the ones that occur the most frequently. So the next thing I'm going to look at, in fact, I'm going to make another change to the word cloud because ability crops up a couple of times, and actually ability isn't a thing without knowing what it is. So we're going to make ability a stop word so that it exposes the other characteristics more. So we've got involve the audience up here. Go to coding, involve the audience, audience and engagement. We've got engaging as a single phrase. Audience and engagement. Interesting content, so we'll put that with content. Content and argument. It's around the content and the structure. And argument, again with the content. Engaging the audience up here at the top. So we've got another one here. We've had voice, but let's trigger body language as well. We're going to create a new code, body language. So we've got voice and body here. So we've coded voice already to voice, but now we're going to code body as well. So we could keep doing that. Rather than going through the whole process, what I'm going to do now is jump to why we're doing this coding. So I'm going to click on the coding page, and it tells me that at the moment I'm using 5 codes: slides, content, voice, audience and engagement, body language. If I click on audience and engagement, it tells me, for example, that there are 86 references in this data set to one of these phrases: audience, engage an audience, involve the audience, engaging the audience. So I can go through and I can see what the actual verbatims are that link to that. And if I want to describe the findings and say, well, one of the key factors is the audience and the engagement, I might choose 1 or 2 of these as example open-ended comments that makes all the difference. For example, this one here: to show that you really care about both the subject you are speaking on and the audience you are presenting, and it really makes a difference. Or engagement of the audience presence. we can look at that. But or we can take this phrase here, because it's obviously just part of a phrase, click on it, and it tells us more about this, what's going on. It also shows us where all the other coded phrases are, and we can pick up on those if we want to. We can add some more codes from those. So let's just go back to that summary. So we're in this mode here. We want to maybe have a look at voice, voice modulation and passion. So that's quite interesting. Let's go to where that phrase is, passion. Let's click on the word there, and we can see that that is there. Ability to make the fieldwork come alive, interpret the analysis beyond the obvious. So we can find all sorts of different characteristics in here. We can dive in as deep as we like, or we can come back to the summary, which shows us, okay, here is the word cloud and we've grouped this, or we could do more work and go further into there on things like confidence and say, okay, this is another key characteristic. We're going to code that as confidence. And we're going to go to the coding summary. We'll click on confidence, and at the moment it's only got one click and it comes up with 16. Charisma, confidence, conveying. If we go through to the text, we can see some other words that are coming up around that. Implies a mastery of the subject, dependence on notes, report. We can see all of these things that are coming in and build a total picture. So without a lot of background in the analysis of open-ended text, here is a simple way of beginning to put some structure to that. And we hope that you'll find it useful. All of these tools are available in Word Cloud Plus. Some of them are in the premium version, but you can have that free for 60 days. So if you've got a real project coming up, you don't have to pay for it. You can log in, create a Word Cloud Plus account, run your live project, deliver your results from the premium, and provided you take less than 60 days, it won't actually cost you anything. If you find it's useful, well, keep the account and pay the small monthly fee. Thanks so much for listening.